to you. Venom, Bud, Archie too. They will all be here for you on Comics TV. Comics TV. Fantasy and enemy. What's it gonna be now? Alternative and mainstream too. Here every week for you on Comics TV. Comics TV.
Hi, Happy New Year, and welcome to Comics TV, your weekly guide to the wacky world of comic books. I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Steve Przybyla. Each and every week we bring you comic book news, reviews, interviews, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Today we have some great reviews, an interview with Robert A. Kraus, and if I could get my act together right, a preview of the Comics TV website.
That's right, so let's kick off today's first show of the brand new year with Steve's first comic book review.
The new Turok. For my first book of the 1997 year, Turok, Empty Souls, #1, $3.95 from Acclaim Comics. Writer is Fabian Nicieza, art is Atomic Paintbrush, and the inker is Dave Lamphere. When Joshua Fireseas has an intuition that his life would change, he had no idea what he's in for. When Josh gets a phone call from his sister telling him his uncle is dying, he has to go to his side as a last request. What he does not know is that he is being passed down a mojo bag which contains the spirit of Turok, son of Stone, and not willingly he is the next descendant of Turok. The writing was excellent, new storyline with a twist, very well written, kept my interest up right from beginning to end. Art, typical, nothing outstanding. It's a basic drawing just like every other comic book out there. Nothing that jumped right off the pages at you and said, wow, look at this, but it was still good. Collectability, yes, there is a limited print on this. There are very few out there. Acclaim only printed 50,000 issues of each book, and my rating on this one is very, very hot. Pick it up. It's a great new Turok series. Pick it up if you can find it.
The big news this week to start the new year off right is more bad news from the Marvel Comics front. On Friday, December 27th, 1996, Marvel Entertainment Group Inc. said it had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy to obtain $525 million in new capital under a plan that gives investor Ron Perlman even greater control of the struggling comic book company. Perlman, who owns 80.2% of Marvel, last month threatened the company's bondholders with the bankruptcy filing unless they approve the reorganization plan, which massively dilutes public stockholders' ownership of Marvel.
The bottom line is Marvel will get $365 million in new equity. In turn, Marvel's lender group has agreed to provide $160 million in new funds to finance Marvel's new strategic investment program and working capital requirements. In addition, Toy Biz will become a wholly owned Marvel subsidiary, helping to boost the recognized parent's bottom line. Marvel's publishing, licensing, distribution, and trading card businesses also filed voluntary Chapter 11 petitions Friday.
All right, my first book today is Zine 4 from Eyeball Soup Designs, a company from Singapore. This is a full-color glossy book with a $3.95 price tag, published bi-monthly. They call this the Series Adventure Graphic Anthology. The story is nothing entirely new. New Immortals is the story in this issue. It's about a monkey god and some power staff that Rex picks up and changes him into some kind of superhero of sorts. And in going along with this, there are demons after him, and they're after the staff, so they're making it after him, and there's a lot of action in the book. The art is very good. It looks like it's computer colored, making the lines a bit edgy. It looks like when they scanned it in, it wasn't a perfect job, but it really looks good. The color and layout is great. Although the story isn't fresh, I like the book and the art. It's very animated looking. I give Zine 4 a hot this week. Now, if you want to pan out here, Jimmy, we're going to go and do a little bit of toy stuff here. You guys like the toys. We do toys once in a while. So, I've got several toys for you. First of all, a couple months ago, it must have been midsummer, Steve had the King of the Aliens. I don't remember what
the Supreme Ruler.
I don't remember what this one's called. He's like a...
Chuck.
Oh, this is Chuck.
Chuck the Alien.
This is Chuck. And inside, if we open Chuck up, there's beef.
That's ground.
This is ground here. This is the little alien guy here. He's an ugly little alien dude. I think this is the guy that was talking to the president here.
He was. Die! I want you to die! Die!
Okay, I got 2 of them for Christmas. I got the Alien movies. I guess I got the Alien gift pack because I got the movie Independence Day, and I got 2 of the toys. Got the little swivel head that pops open. It's got all these stupid legs here, and his body does a little jig. Put his leg down so he'll stand. He doesn't like to stand though.
Well, because his bottom legs are crooked. Twist them. There we go.
Then we've got this thing here. This is the Alien. This is one of the little ships that were
the fighter ship, yeah,
fighting against Will Smith there. So it makes all kinds of neat sounds here. And the lights flash on it and stuff. Did you use one of these?
Yeah, it's underneath there. I shot it.
You monkey. So here's what these things do.
Yeah, they didn't explode.
It's because he broke. Because he was busy playing with it.
It shocked me.
2 of those. Actually, it comes with 4 of those. It's got the little, and it's got these little bombs here. If you
you got to pull the bottom switch out. They're like depth charges.
Because the monkey put it in upside down.
Monkey playing with your toys.
So then this thing opens up here, and you got a little alien inside. This one's uglier than the other one.
It's like a micro machine. That's mine. The same one I had that I reviewed.
Put his top back on. But these are pretty neat, and they both come with also 2 more parts of the the computer game, which I haven't even put in yet. But it's pretty neat. I don't know how much they were. I got them for Christmas, and they're probably not marked down yet, are they?
Yeah, they started to mark them down.
Yeah.
Most of the big toys are marked down to like $9.99 now instead of $20, but you get a good deal on these. Most of the stores always have them. They're never sold out like the McFarlane toys. It's pretty neat. I gotta go out and buy me one of them. Gotta give me one of them. Yes, Michael had a very boring life playing with his toys.
So, anyhow, some neat toys, and you ought to go and check out the bargain bins at the toy stores. See if they're in the bargain bins, because they're kind of except for his leg. They're pretty neat toys.
Yeah, they're neat. Pick them up. Boy, that was special. For my next book this week, I'm going with The Black Lamb, number 4 of 6. $2.50 from Helix Comics. Writer is Timothy Thurman, and he's also the artist. Inker is Sam Parsons. Definitely a new kind of superhero. The Black Lamb is a vampire whose sole purpose is to hunt down and kill other vampires who break the vampire law, and mercilessly kill children and innocents. And when he has to face Renfield and Helsing, 2 bounty hunters, he receives a little help from a local legend believed not to be true. This was excellent writing. Good story, action-packed, bloody with a lot of monsters, the way I like my books. The artwork was okay. It was dull pictures, no bright colors, but for the artwork, I guess it would be okay because the story is great, so it sort of contradicts the book itself. Collectability, no. This is a basic book, plain and simple. You'll find probably The Black Lamb in a bargain bin within a year, so it's your choice. You can either pick it up now, pick it up later, but this is part 4 of 6. Rating, I give it a hot, so try and pick it up now if you can still find it. This one's a couple weeks old. Try and get parts 1 through 3 before you pick up 4, though. It sort of explains a little bit more of the story. But it was really good. It was a hot book. Pick it up.
Okay, out this week is a few new titles from DC. First, we got The Big Book of Losers. This book is $14.95. It's huge. It's got all kinds of, it's like 196 pages. It's a bunch of tales. It's kind of neat. The Books of Fairy number 1 is $2.50. It's Titania and Oberon, the Books of Magic's most intriguing and in-demand characters. They are in their own miniseries. And last we have Brain Bank's #1 of 6. It's $2.50. It's a powerful telepath sent to investigate a crime on an alien world. These books are all out first week in January, and they're all from DC. It's that time of the week again, time of the show again, when we do that special time where Steve and I look each other in the eye and we say,
I hate you. I'm kidding. It's time for Dual Review. Each and every week, me and Mike take a book, we both read it, and we review it. Let you know our vast opinions on this book. This week we have
From the War-Torn Land of Croatia, codenamed Scorpio. That's right. This is from a couple guys that are from Croatia. Can you believe that? They actually do comic books over there.
We cannot pronounce their names, so we're not even going to try.
No, why make fun of their names because we can't say them properly?
This is a intergalactic road warrior type cop story.
It's from Antarctic Press, $2.95. It's issue #1.
Yes. Like I was saying, it's an intergalactic road warrior type story. You have the bad cops, the good cops. The bad cop freaks out, the good cop sits there, tries to capture him. The bad cop ends up killing the good cop's girlfriend. They have to reconstitute her body and her head, and the good cop goes after the bad cop to kill him. Plain and simple, there's your whole story in a nutshell.
What does reconstitute mean?
They had to rebuild her body.
Oh.
See? They were rebuilding her body. Oh, it's in here somewhere. They had to put all new body parts on her, sort of like silicone implants.
Oh, no,
larger.
Antarctic doesn't do a lot of color books.
No.
And this is only $2.95, so I think they're going out on a limb. How many did they print? They printed 7,000, which isn't it isn't a real low print run for them.
No, but I think that's about 6,999 too many for this book.
It's not a bad book. The color looks pretty good. The art is pretty good.
It's graphic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of violence, blood, stabbing, blowing arms and body parts off.
Yeah, like Steve said, you know, it's a Road Warrior, Mad Max kind of.
Yeah, a lot of big guns.
Futuristic kind of tale.
Yeah.
It's not that great. The story's okay. I mean, how many different stories can you come up with? I mean, there's only so many stories that people come up with that are any good.
Yeah, this is the type of story you'd see on the Sci-Fi Channel about 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those kind of.
Yeah, one of those kind of B-rate, really, really bad movies that you'd see at 3:30 in the morning if you're like getting home from a bar or something.
Then you give these guys credit. I mean, over in Croatia, they're coming up with some kind of something. I don't know how much exposure they've had to American comics, or if they just dreamt this up out of their head. I mean, if they dreamt it up out of their head, then it's really a good story. But if they've had exposure to some of this American propaganda, then you know, it's just something that they reconstituted.
Yeah, basically reconstituted, huh? And their exposure to that too. Yeah, you're right.
But I don't think it's that great of a book.
I agree. I wasn't impressed with it at all. If I'm going to pay $2.95 for a book, I'm going to go out and spend it on something I really like, not something like this. Plus, all in all, the pictures were so big on most of the pages, you're only getting 3 or 4 pictures on mostly every page. Or you'll have a splash page, which is half the book, you know, half the page. And
it's still not as bad as Image.
No, not as bad as Image with 16 pages and 15 splash pages, but like I said, it's not appealing to me, you know. I guess you really gotta.
This guy reminds me of somebody too.
Yeah, like Sting, or the wrestler.
Yeah, he looks like a wrestler or something. I don't know, but
I would pass. I'd say it's a bum.
I'd also pass too. Yeah. Sorry, Antarctic. Sorry, you Croatian boys, but no
See
go.
You. No go.
Night of the Living Fruity Faces is an Elvira tale from Claypool Comics. If you were alive in the 1970s, as almost everybody in this room has been alive since maybe before that, you know what Fruity Faces are. Do you know what Fruity Faces are, Jim? No, where were you? Didn't you have them Fruity Face cups?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Grape with the grape thing and all.
Still got them.
I forgot who they are. Grape what? I don't know. In this story, Elvira finds a set of these glasses cups in a bin at a collectibles extravaganza, kind of like one that we were at recently. One that she's attending, and she's signing autographs to all these goofy guys. And what happens is when she gets home, the faces come to life. She thinks she's going nutty, so what she does is she goes to this voodoo practitioner who sees that there's really a spell on the fruity faces from the Haitian guy who sold them to her. These are pretty violent faces, and they chew on cars, they chase people, and they eat flesh. Yes, that's right. Plenty of cleavage from Elvira keeps you at the edge of your seat during this comic, hoping that the faces just don't take a bite out of Elvira. She comes up with a plan to save the day. A goofy comic with good art. It's fun. It's a splendid time when you read this book. Only in comics can you have fun like this. You can't do this kind of stuff anywhere else. And I'm going to give this one a hot, simply because it's a good fun book. Clean, too. Almost.
For my third book this week, I'm going with Wyona Earp. Not Wyona Judge, she's a lot thinner. Wyona Earp. #1 from Image Comics, $2.50. Writer, artist, and inker is Smith, Chin, and Irwin. This is a female Schwarzenegger if I ever seen one. This female detective is out to destroy a gang called the Blood Bank, who has discovered a new drug that is in blood called hemo. But can she stop them before too many people get addicted to it and they kill off the population for more of this drug? Very good question. It was very well written, excellent. Graphically, it's graphically explained. She explains how the hemo became, why these people are turning into these vampires to eat these people to get the hemo. Really interesting. Drawn, another thing, it's graphically drawn. There's a lot of blood, a lot of guts, a lot of monsters. This is definitely for mature readers. This is not a kid's book, I will tell you right now. Just from the violence in there alone from page 1. Collectability, no, it's just another basic, another new title that came out on the series that people want to try and pick up to check out new titles. Well, this is one of them. Rating, hot if you like that kind of stuff, which is monsters, blood, gore, all the fun stuff that makes comics fun to read, stuff I like. But this one is definitely a hot. If you do see it and you're over 18, pick it up. It's really good.
Next, we have our interview segment of the show. A couple months ago, we met with Robert A. Kraus, known for his book Executioner and for Shakan.
The Forever Man.
Yes, which was also a big hit with Sega.
Yeah.
So, we talked with Robert. He had a few things to say about comic books, about his creation process and stuff. So, let's take it over there and see what he's got to say. We're here with Robert A. Kraus. He's the creator of many characters that you know and love. If you've ever played any video games, you may know his main character, which is how do you say it?
Shakan the Forever Man.
Shakan. And a couple years ago, Bob had sent me that first issue of the comic, and we reviewed it back then. And he's had a couple new things going on since that time. So I'm going to talk, see what's going. You've got a new comic out now, right?
Yeah, it's called The Executioner. It's my newest character since the Shakan books. He's basically like Shakan. He goes around killing demons, lots of violence, that type of thing. But what's cool about it is the storyline. It's the viewer sort of interacts with the ending of the book, and the ending that the viewer chooses or the reader chooses sort of tells a little bit about the reader. You know what I mean? It's what ending you like to the book will tell a lot about the type of person you are. So it's sort of, I did it because it was a different type of book, had a different hook to it.
So if you're the one that, if you choose for everybody to die or something, that's that type of thing?
Yeah, it sort of tells us a little bit about how warped you are.
So you probably want everybody to write in and tell which one they chose, so you can see how demented most of your readers are.
Oh yeah, I know most of them are demented, so there's nothing wrong with that.
So how's things been going? I know you've gotten into a lot of things. A while back we had reviewed your video also, and you said that you were getting into some other multimedia and things like that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing audiobooks. That's one of my latest projects. I have another video, a documentary being done on me and my work and everything. So that's going to be being put together now, and they've already done some footage on that. Yeah, I've been doing card games, action figure design work, all kinds of stuff. So really, I'm trying to do a little bit of everything. Great.
Now, Shakan, he was a very popular character for you. Did you come up with the comic before you had the deal with Sega, or was that after together?
Yeah, basically, Shay Khan started out as a backup character in a book I published in the early 80s called Thunder Mace. And basically, I was like one of the first of the quote-unquote independent publishers, way before even like the black and white bust of the 80s or the late 80s. And he was very popular. Everyone kept going, wow, I like this character, Shay Khan. So I eventually gave him his own book, which was the Shay Khan #1 title that you reviewed before. Well, that was picked up by a game designer from Sega, and he's like, wow, he called me up, wow, this is a really cool storyline. I'd like to do a video game. And so we negotiated for a couple months, and then I worked with Sega for about a year and a half, getting the groundwork done for the video game.
Now, is the game based, okay, it's based on your character, but is the plot of the game, I mean, does it involve things that you helped create?
Oh, yeah, I was involved with like the level designs, how they looked. Some of the bosses he fights in the game came from my pencils and everything. And they were really cool to work for. They flew me out to the West Coast, and I met everyone involved with the project, from the animators to the president, vice president, what have you. And it was really cool. I was given right of first approval in my contract, so I was able to make sure, maintain the integrity of the character. They exceeded all my expectations. They did a great job. Great job.
Well, that's good. I mean, you always hear a lot of bad business deals, but apparently with that kind of thing, especially since this was in the 80s that came out, right?
The video game, it came in the mid-90s, about 92, 93 is when it came out.
Okay, but you hear a lot, you know, with the business world, you never know. A lot of people get the shaft end of deals, but you must have worked out a good deal with them in order that they, exceeded expectations.
Yeah, I hear a lot of horror stories about people doing this and that, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to get into the independent publishing, so I would have control of my character and my ideas and things like that. I didn't want to create something for like a Marvel or DC, and then they, merchandise, and then I end up, not getting my original art back, not getting my credit where credit was due, or any deals like that. I mean, if you have the personality and you have the drive to own your own business, then you should pursue that. And I always had that type of discipline and stuff, that I'd like to do that.
That's great. Now, what do you plan on doing with the Executioner here? Is he going to get into any of your other things, your audio books or anything like that, or is that going to be, Shay Khan?
The audio books will be a little bit of everything from, I teach at the University of Akron how to draw, like dynamic illustration, things like that. So I'm going to do like tapes on how to break into the field, or how to market your work, how to copyright your work, things like that. Shay Khan has a book that'll be on audio tape. The Executioner, basically right now, he's a one-shot. He's also going to be with like all my characters, like matted prints and posters, and I'll do things with him in the future. He's also in card game that I have coming out called The Dragon War, and that'll be out in a couple months. And so I put all my characters in different media, so it's a lot of fun.
Good. Are you is this Executioner, is this out now in the stores?
It will be released real soon. We're going to be shipping a bunch out this week to the distributors. But as of right now, I've just been selling them at the shows. But yeah, I am distributed through like Diamond, so it'll be out in the stores.
Now, do you the card game that you're doing? It's kind of, you said it's a board game too. Now, are you putting that whole thing together yourself and going to be marketing it, or you got somebody else doing that?
Yeah, I wanted, I've been doing a lot of like black and white comics and stuff like that, and for RAK's first full color project, I was thinking about doing a comic as that, but I'm really known a lot as a science fiction fantasy illustrator as opposed to just doing the comics, so I wanted a vehicle that would showcase a lot of the art I've done over the years. And the cards are so cool, the non-sport trading cards like the Boris and Frazetta sets, things like that. So I'm going to have one side will be a gallery, basically a little mini gallery of my artwork, and then the back side is a game that's very playable, very fun. So I can get the best of both worlds.
Now, you mentioned Boris and Frazetta there. Are they influences of yours?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Especially Frazetta. I mean, to me, he's the man. There's no one better. I mean, his stuff. When I was a kid, I saw his book covers. I like to read a lot, and I saw his book covers, and that was it. I had to draw stuff like that. You know, I find that, you know, you start out imitating your influences, and then eventually, if you keep working, your own style comes out. My style really doesn't look like what he does, but I owe him a huge debt as far as, hey, this is what I'd like to do, and give me a little direction there.
Yeah, you do a lot of great fantasy stuff. I was looking through some of the prints and stuff you've got, and like on the back of the Executioner here, we've got that. This is just a neat picture. I like this. What did you say this was? You call it?
It's called Who's Next. It's sort of my independent statement. Everyone keeps coming up to me, who are your influences, and also they're like, can you draw this guy? Can you draw that guy? So I drew them all, but they're dead. So it's sort of wild.
Yeah, that's it's a neat picture, and I like that. Next, my last book is Executioner #1 by Robert A. Kraus, the man we just had an interview with. This character has been hanging around for many years, but he has had no reason to use the character, nothing to use it in. So now the Executioner gets his own comic. Come on, Steve, sing this song with me.
100 heads on a chop on the block, 100 heads to chop. Take one down, axe hits the ground, 99 heads to chop on the block.
Okay, wasn't that fun?
That was fun.
The book is very violent, very, very violent. The Executioner is basically a story about a man who is an executioner.
Really?
He was forced to kill a woman who he knew was innocent. This troubled him to the point that he finally committed suicide, and now he's a troubled soul. It's a decent story. I found it violent, but not bad. In black and white, the blood is not quite as impressive, though. As a whole, the story is thin, and the price tag at $5 is very high. Based on those details, even though I love his art, I really like his art, I must give Executioner #1 a not. Sorry, Robert. Next, we've got 30-second mini comic review. This is Warrior Nun Day. After Time, Ashcan edition. Unbelievable artwork. This looks like a fantastic book. Pick it up and don't miss a single issue. It's out in January. All right, today's new music was provided by White Trash Debutantes. Yes, that's right, I forgot to play it last show,
yes.
So I'm going to play it this show. It's called It's Raw, But You Live For It. You can catch them at 206 Records, and I believe it's 206, spell it out, 206 at AOL.com. Check them out there. Check them out on the website. And remember, you can contact, yes, we can do that here at COMX-TV with any questions or comments you might have about the show. P.O. Box 220, Buffalo, New York, 14225, or email comixtv@moran.com, and also visit the website. Stay tuned over the next few weeks for more great COMX-TV announcements, and don't forget to visit that website again. That's all the time we have this week. My name is Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Steve Przybyla. Make sure to tune in next week for more great reviews and an exclusive interview with James Hudnall. Tune in then. Same comic time, same comic channel. And as we say each and every week, when you visit that local comic book store, tell them you've seen it on COMX-TV.